for our starting lineups brought to you by Sitco. And Bobby Cox, of course, has Kenny Lofton still at the top of the order, but some changes with Mark Lemke moving into the 2 spot today, then Chipper Jones and Fred McGriff. Andrew Jones gets a start in right field, will bat 5th. Javi Lopez 6th. Ryan Klesko stays in there against the left-hander today, but moves down to the 7th spot in the order. Then Jeff Blauser and Tom Glavine. For Dusty Baker, his defense today, Barry Bonds, Stan Javier, Glenn Allen Hill in the outfield. Same infield we saw last night with Lewis, Vizcaino, Kent, and Snow from 3rd to 1st. A new catcher, Rick Wilkins, will do the catching. And on the mound, left-hander Kirk Reeder, 26 years old, 6'2", 207, lives in Hoyleton, Illinois. Originally in the Montreal organization, came over to the Giants last July, along with Tim Scott for Mark Gardner. You see his numbers for the year. Against the Braves lifetime, a 1-1 mark, a 6.75 ERA though against Atlanta. Broke in with a really big bang with Montreal. He won his first 12 decisions as a major leaguer, and in '93 he was the National League Rookie Pitcher of the Year, so named by the Sporting News. One of the odd things about Kirk Reeder is that the left-handers have been wearing him out a little bit. He's a good sinker slider ball pitcher, and one of the things the left-handers can take advantage of is his inability to throw the sinker to them, and we'll see if guys like Klesko, even though he's lower in the batting order, but Klesko and McGriff perhaps could take advantage of that today. Jerry Crawford, a good ball and strike umpire, will be behind the plate. At first base, Brian Gorman, Wally Bell at second, and Ed Montague works at third. And we talked about the first inning and how successful it has been for the Braves. We'll see if they can do it again today, Pete.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton has led off every game with a base hit on this road trip. 3 singles and a double in the first inning. And he leads off here against Kirk Reeder. Lofton out .446 for the year. And 20 hits in his last 33 at bats. He has just been on fire. 0-1 the count. That caught the inside corner. 0-2 now on Lofton. Mark Lemke will follow, and then Chipper Jones. Breaking ball missing. A ball and 2 strikes. Just off the outside corner. 2-2.
Pete, that's to me what's making him a cut above the other leadoff hitters. Even when he gets behind in the count, he still has a good eye, doesn't offer bad pitches.
Little chopper right side. Jeff Kent fields on to first, and for the first time on this trip, Kenny Lofton has been retired leading off a game. And that'll bring up Mark Lemke. Lemke, who has been batting down in the number 7 spot, moved up to the number 2 spot today with Andrew Jones in the lineup. Mark at .226 for the year, a couple of RBIs. Outside corner, 0-1.
And even though he hasn't had that many at-bats right-handed, Pete, he's having a lot better time of it right-handed. He's 5 for 16. That's a .313 mark. Only 189 left-handed.
1-1 the count now on Lemke. Up the middle, base hit center field. Lemke with a 1-out single. The 14th first inning hit on this road trip. And Chipper Jones will step in.
You know, something else that has done, Pete, is as deep as they have had to go in the order to retire the Braves in the top of the first inning, opposing pitchers wind up running their pitch count up real high in the first 2 innings. We saw that in Colorado with their starters.
Chipper now at .317 for the year with a couple of homers, 16 RBIs. Fouls away the first one. He's getting that right-handed batting average up a little bit, up to .250 now. Still no extra base hits from the right side. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. A breezy afternoon here. Winds blowing about 20 miles an hour. Left field across toward right. Temperature at game time 61 degrees. Looped foul down the right side and out of play. A ball and 2 strikes on Chipper Jones. Lemke at first, 1 out, just underway. Braves head for home at the end of this one, an off day tomorrow, then San Diego in for the weekend.
Greg Maddux combining last night with that shutout, but coming out after 6 innings of work, gave up only 4 hits. Said he kind of aggravated that hamstring when he was having to jump over Stan Javier on that bunt single that Javier dropped down late in the ball game, but will be okay for his next start. That will come in Atlanta against the Dodgers. I think that's just something that's going to take a little while to heal, and as time goes along and a few days off here and there, it'll be just fine.
1-2 the count. Strike 3 called. Fastball outside corner at the knees. Out number 2. Good pitch by Reeder.
Right on the outside corner. Framed nicely by Wilkins, and Chipper knew it.
So Reeder with a chance to get the Braves out of this first inning with no runs on the board. Fred McGriff, the hitter, hitting .310 for the year with a couple of homers and 12 RBIs. Reeder now wearing a San Francisco Giant uniform. When he first came up to the major leagues, he was with the Montreal Expos, and he recorded wins in his first 10 decisions. And one of those, one of his very first starts with Montreal back in 1993, came against the Giants. Remember, the Braves and Giants were involved in that mad pennant race or divisional race right down to the final day of the season, and he shut them out on a night that the Braves won. And the Braves only wound up winning that division by 1 game that year, so you can look at that day and say maybe that's the one. 2-0 the countdown. McGriff off the end of the bat, 2-1.
He's had a strange career already, in the sense that he has pitched so well at times, like you're talking about the beginning of his career, but he's appeared in the major leagues 4 different seasons, but never for a full year.
Yeah, he always winds up back in the minor leagues at some point. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and there's a strike in the outside corner. 2-2.
By and large, a guy who throws strikes, he's not going to overpower you. Only 3 walks this year in 17 innings. Likes to work the corners.
Here's the 2-2 on the way, and it's out of play. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fred McGriff. McGriff is 4 for 9 lifetime against Reeder. In fact, the left-handed bats, we showed you that number, how Reeder has had trouble this year getting left-hand hitters out. The hitters who have had the most success against him in the Braves lineup today, McGriff, who's 4 for 9, and Ryan Klesko, another left-hand hitter, who's 4 for 5 lifetime against him. It's full now, 3-2.
And it's because of that pitch right there. That's a real nasty pitch to the right-handers. He likes to work off the plate like he did to Chipper Jones, but to the lefties, can't quite use that off-speed pitch and that sinking fastball as effectively.
Lemke will be on the run here with 2 outs. And the 3-2 grounded to third, fielded by Lewis, looks towards second, no play there, on to first, and Snow saves him with a nice pickup. So the Braves come up empty in the first inning today. The base hit by Lemke is all they get. No score as we go to the bottom of the first.
Dusty Baker's altered his lineup just a little bit for Tom Glavine on the mound today. Moves Jose Vizcaino in the leadoff spot, then Stan Javier, and Glenn Allen Hill will bat third today. Barry Bonds moves to the cleanup spot. Jeff Kent will bat fifth. Rick Wilkins back in the lineup to do the catching, bat sixth. In the bottom third of the order, Mark Lewis, J.T. Snow, and the pitcher Kirk Reeder. For the Braves, in the outfield today, it's Klesko, Lofton, and Andrew Jones. On the infield, Chipper, Jeff, Mark, and Fred from third to first. Javi Lopez in the lineup again to do the catching, and on the mound, guy tied for first in the National League in wins, Tom Glavine. He's 3-0. He's got the 7th best ERA at 1.55. Last year, he made 3 starts against the Giants, won all 3 of them. He was 3-0 with a 1.33 ERA. Shut out the Colorado Rockies his last outing at the beginning of this road trip. His 14th career shutout. He's on quite a roll, one of the hottest pitchers in the game.
And Jose Vizcaino will lead things off, hitting .262. He had a 5-game hitting streak snapped last night when he went 0 for 4. He is the 5th different leadoff hitter the Giants have used this year. Darrell Hamilton was in the leadoff spot till he injured his thumb. There have been 4 different players utilized as the leadoff man by Dusty Baker since he went out. The 1-0 on the way, and it's low and outside. Ball 2. Tom.
What was that?
Fell. Let's see if he's okay out there. Jeff Porter is coming out along with Bobby Cox, and all of a sudden Tom Glavine appears to be in pain. It happened on his follow-through.
He's on a changeup too. It's like his knee buckled. It's like his right knee buckled. Oh, his right ankle slipped a little bit too. His right foot, when he went into his stride, it's like he landed on the side of his foot a little bit and rolled it over.
So some concern out there now for Tom Glavine. Looks like he's going to try to stay in the game.
Watch it from center field again. Watch his foot. It's like he didn't land solidly. And I don't know if he wrenched something else in the process or not. But he's looking down at his landing spot as he's delivering that pitch.
He appears to be okay. The Braves getting their bullpen up just in case Glavine is unable to continue.
He's making that stride awfully soft. He's trying to be very ginger about it.
But he's going to try to stay in there. And of course that will not count as a visit to the mound.
Well, that was a scary sight.
The Braves have been so fortunate in the decade of the 90s with their strong starting pitching, staying healthy as much as it has, with very, very little in the way of injuries that have kept the pitcher out of action. Well, the 2-0 pitch on the way, and there's ball 3 low and outside. 3-0 now. Vizcaino, Stan Javier waiting on deck. Paul Byrd continues to throw out in the Braves bullpen as they keep a close eye here on Tom Glavine. There's a strike, 3-1. The 3-1 on the way, caught the inside corner, and the count full. 3-2 on Vizcaino.
It was almost like a guy who stepped off the curb and didn't know it was there. It's almost the impression you got when after he followed through.
What you worry about when you see a pitcher fall like that. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Vizcaino, line right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Over quickly, Andruw Jones. Vizcaino aboard with a leadoff single. What you worry about when you see a pitcher fall like that out on the mound is a lot of times you'll hurt your back that way.
And he was bent over at the waist for a while. That was, you kind of catch yourself trying to keep from falling and throw something else out.
So Vizcaino reaches with a leadoff single. Now Stan Javier steps in, hitting .227, no homers or RBIs. He is 0 for 19 in his career against Tom Glavine. Let's see if Dusty Baker has the Giants playing for a single run here and has him bunting. He is showing bunt, gets one down, but foul, 0-1.
Stan Javier is a pretty good all-around player in that he can do a lot of things to help you win, but if he was trying to do a sacrifice bunt there, that was not a very good effort. He did not get squared around, just kind of stuck the bat out there.
You saw Sonny Jackson, the Giants' new third base coach, going through the signs. Here's the 0-1. And he fouled that one off. 0-2.
Again, looked more like he was trying to bunt for a hit. He wasn't willing to give himself up by squaring around early.
He had a bunt single in the game last night. But all he's being asked to do here is get a sacrifice bunt down. Now Jerry Crawford out to the mound, wants to check out the baseball. On Javier.
I wonder if there was something more to that visit. The way he kind of stood there looking at the baseball and gave it back to him. Tommy, I'm sure, has cleared it with the umpires to blow in his hand on this windy day here. But may have cleared that with Crawford as he went out there.
Swinging, bounces one off Chipper Jones, caroms into left field. And the Giants have runners at first and second. Chipper got caught in between hops, and that ball kicked right off of him. And that'll bring up Glenn Allen Hill.
I would assume it's going to be an error, but it was an in-between hop. And after the 2 failed bunt attempts, looked like the Braves might get a break. No, they're going to rule it a hit.
Wow.
I think that's a real generous home cooking type of call right there.
So if that stands as a hit for Stan Javier, it'll be his first career hit in 20 at-bats against Glavine. And the batter is Glenn Allen Hill, batting .286 with a couple of homers and 12 RBIs. One ball, no strikes.
If you throw a pitch like Tom threw on, I think it was the second pitch of the game, Pete, and something like that happens, it's going to take him a few more to kind of get that out of his mind so that he's not worried about it each subsequent pitch. He might still be trying to be very careful with it.
Here's the 1-0 on the way. Bouncing ball right back to Glavine. A chance for 2 here. The second for 1 on to first. Not in time. Javier forced at second, but Glenn Allen Hill beat the relay throw to first. Moving over to third is Vizcaino.
6-3. Blauser wasn't able to get a whole lot on this throw, but I thought they still got him. Nope. Good call by first base umpire Brian Gorman.
Now Barry Bonds has been stuck on 999 career RBIs for the last 8 games. He's hitting .250 this year with 1 homer, only 6 RBIs, no runs driven in over an 8-game span. But he has runners first and third, 1 out here. And the pitch is hit high down the left field line. Long run for Ryan Klesko. Diving try. Can't get it. Vizcaino scores. Glenn Allen Hill. He will score. Ryan Klesko can't find it. Barry Bonds has a chance, and he'll come around with an inside the park 3-run homer.
Ryan didn't get up, Pete. He thought it was a foul ball. Jeff was yelling to him, but Ryan did not get up. Watch again. He was going to get the sacrifice fly at the very least and get his 1,000th RBI. He got more than he bargained for. That ball landed well into fair territory, but Ryan with the slide crashed into the wall. Now he realizes that it was a fair ball, and too late. Bond sees it get by him right here, and now he turns on the jets. He can still go.
His second homer of the year. RBIs number 7, 8, and 9. He now has 1,002 career RBIs. Giants lead at 3-0, and for the second time in the inning, Jeff Porter and Bobby Cox on the field, this time to see if Ryan Klesko is okay after colliding with that wall out there.
Well, he returned to the lineup last night after suffering some stiffness in his back in Colorado as Bonds takes a curtain call for going over the 1,000 RBI mark. He slides across the line and then hits the wall pretty hard with his right shoulder. I'm really surprised at how much he slid across that rubber warning track down there.
First home run allowed by Tom Glavine this year, only the 4th homer allowed by Atlanta pitching, and the Giants have a 3-0 lead on an inside the park 3-run homer by Barry Bonds. Now Jeff Kent batting .296, 4 homers, 20 RBIs, fouls back the first one, 0-1.
Now I'm wondering if when he hit the wall, if Ryan really kind of addled him, because your natural instinct as an outfielder, normally if you miss the ball, is to get up and find it, or at least check with the infielders to see what's going on.
He seemed a little stunned, didn't he?
He did. Very slow to get up.
1 ball, 1 strike on Kent. Watch again.
And watch his head, too, as it snapped a little bit when he hit it with his shoulder. I think he was a little out of it right there. 2-1 the count now on Jeff Kent. We talked to the open about the
good first innings on this road trip for Atlanta. The Giants have scored more runs in the first inning than any other inning this year as well. And they've added 3 more to that today. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grounded to Jeff Blauser at short. And that's out number 2. Can't retire. That'll bring up Rick Wilkins. Off to a slow start with the bat, hitting just 146 on the year with a homer and 7 RBIs. Well, I'll bet you Barry Bonds, no RBIs in the last 8 games. Never thought his spring would end that way. Inside the park homer. First pitch on the way to Wilkins. On the inside corner for a strike.
Something else, he's not used to being pitched to this much of late either. All the other ball clubs have been pitching around him a lot.
Here's the 0-1 on the way, and that's in for a strike 0-2. Well, perhaps the ultimate compliment paid to Barry Bonds after the game last night by Greg Maddux, who said he is definitely the best hitter in the National League.
He said, I have a lot of respect for him. But last night, he let off a couple of innings, so it was a much better situation.
Yeah, that's where you like to get him, leading off an inning. Or at least up there with the bases empty. 1-2, the count on Wilkins. Ground ball toward McGriff. Fair. Glavine covers. And a rocky start for the Atlanta Braves. Tom Glavine shaken up. Ryan Klesko shaken up. Freecom Park shaken up by an inside the park 3-run homer by Barry Bonds. Well, the Braves will have to play a little catch-up today. Down 3-0 at the end of an inning, and Andrew Jones leads off in the second. Javi Lopez will follow, then Ryan Klesko. Andrew at 270, a homer and 4 RBIs. He is no longer a teenager. He turns 20 years old today. Why is it, Joe, that when you're 19, like Andrew was until this day, it seems like a birthday comes only about every 3 years? Once you get to 40, they seem to come every 6 months.
Boy, tell me about it.
1-1 the count. 20 years old. Breeders 1-1. Popped up foul right side. And that one will make it into the seats.
Maybe it's because at that age you're doing a whole lot in between birthdays, and at our age there is not a whole lot going on in between.
It just seemed like he had been 19 forever. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2 on the way. Tried to backdoor him and missed outside. 2-2. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He has seen mostly left-handers. He's faced a few right-handers on occasion when he's come in defensively and stayed in a game to get an at-bat. Been behind the count a lot, too, on this road trip when he has had some ABs.
Here's the 2-2. Just off the inside corner. That was close. 3-2.
It's something Reeder has to do, though, much like Tom Glavine. If he's going to work on that outside part of the plate, he's got to come in some and keep the right-handers honest.
Now the 3-2 pitch stays alive, still 3-2. 3-0, Giants leading it. We're at the top of the second. Back to Reeder, nice play. 1 out. If that ball doesn't find Reeder's glove, it gets through into center field.
Exactly right. He just stuck his glove down there and the ball found it. And turned it into an easy play.
1 out for Javi Lopez, who comes in at 345. He leads the Braves with 3 homers. And he's driven in 10. Braves had an off day here Monday. I ran into Javi and Eddie Perez Tuesday morning, asked them what they did in the off day. Ground ball to Ford short. This guy, will throw on to first. 2 quick outs. Eddie and Javi and several of the other Braves players visited Alcatraz, one of the top tourist attractions here in San Francisco. I asked them, did they enjoy it? Javi said, yeah, it was nice. I think that's the first time that Alcatraz has ever been described as, I know what he meant. It was a nice time. Came out kind of funny. 2 gone. Here is Klesko now. Klesko, 250 for the year, a homer, 10 RBIs. And there's a strike in the outside corner. So far, Reeder's been able to keep almost everything on the ground. He has had 1 strikeout, 4 ground ball outs. And then Lemke's single up the middle. And he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Klesko.
With that swing, it would appear that Ryan's okay. Didn't seem to be limited in any way, the way he let that swing go.
The 0-2 is off the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Giants with a record of 14-4 when they lost to the Braves last night. It entered a 9-game winning streak. They're still on top in their division by 1 game over Colorado. 2-2. Braves now have a 4-game lead over the Florida Marlins in the East. Let's see if Lewis will have a play over near the tarp. He will not. Well, he might have. I think he lost that ball.
I would say he did.
Easy to do here in this ballpark.
Might give you an idea what the ball did to Ryan Klesko, too, out in left field. The wind pushed it back away from him a little bit. Mark Lewis lost that one altogether on a ball he thought was going to drop somewhere near the tarp.
Still 2-2 on Klesko. Broken bat roller, another ground ball. This guy no longer throw this time, just in time to get Klesko. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Kurt Reeder. Bottom half of inning 2 coming up. 3-0 Giants. It was 1 for 3 at the plate. Fouls off the first one, 0-1.
We've talked oftentimes about Tom Glavine's first inning problem speed, but those were the first runs he has allowed in the first inning this year.
That was a strange inning. He almost had the play made by Chipper Jones on a ball that was ruled a base hit, and then they just missed the double play.
Right. First home run he's allowed in 9 starts dating back to last September.
It was the 2nd career inside the park home run for Barry Bonds. Another one came when he was with the Pirates back in 1987. Here's the 2-1 now to Lewis. Good changeup, 2-2. Now the 2-2 offering is outside. Full count, 3-2 on Lewis with J.T. Snow waiting on deck. Short, Blauser fields. 1 away. Now the first baseman, J.T. Snow, off to a slow start offensively, hitting just 196. He has no homers yet, 5 RBIs. Adjusting to a new league. Takes ball 1.
Yeah, just 5 for his last 28. Had a couple of hits Sunday to snap out of a bit of a slump, but not enough to get him over 200.
1 ball, 1 strike. Career .257 hitter and 17 home runs with the Angels last year. 1-2.
it's one thing, Pete, to change leagues, go to a new team, but when you go to a new team, the whole team's new there too. It's really unsettling because you start feeling a little more pressure to do the things that they expect from you, the reason they traded for you.
Here's the 1-2 on the way. Just missed outside. 2-2.
Then you, as you mentioned last night, those folks that were watching the broadcast got hit in the face with a pitch from Randy Johnson in spring training. That slowed everything down. So he's just a little bit slow, still a little bit like spring training for him, and I'm sure he'll get it turned around soon.
Here's the 2-2. In the air, shallow right center field. Lemke back, coming on. Andruw Jones, diving try, can't come up with it. There's a base hit for Snow.
Well, Mark knew he had virtually no shot at this ball, and it was going to be out of his reach, especially looking back into the sun. The only chance was with Andruw. Excellent pitch off the plate. He hit it off the end of the bat and then hit it right into no man's land.
Now the pitcher, Kirk Reeder, in a bunt situation. He's 0 for 7 on the year. Takes ball 1.
He's out of Murray State in Kentucky.
Swung away and fouled it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's not a bad idea if the defense is on top of you, but he really had plenty of room to drop the bunt down the first base side especially. And that's where it looked like he was trying to hit the ball. He was trying to pull it.
Chipper remains camped in on the grass at third. And the 1-1. He tried to bunt it, missed it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's upset with himself because he tried to bunt a ball that was a foot outside. Swinging, taps one toward short. Blauser to Lemke. In time there on the first. Not in time. Second time the Braves have just missed turning one. 2 outs in the inning. Been a lot of almosts in this game for Atlanta.
Good thing Reeder got out of the box well, because this would have been a double play. The ball did get to Blauser a bit slowly. And another close play.
Chipper Jones almost fielding a ball in the first inning. Ryan Klesko almost making a catch in the first inning. 2 near double plays. But the Giants have a 3-0 lead with 2 outs. Reeder, the runner at first, and Jose Vizcaino, who led off the bottom of the first with a single, stepping in. Nothing in 1.
Remember the back and forth between Jose Vizcaino and Steve Avery a couple of years ago? Or was that last year? It was last year.
Right back to Glavine. And a much better inning for Tom in the second. Nothing doing for the Giants. We go to the third. Still 3-0.
Seven o'clock Eastern time, and on TNT at 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's 40 games in 30 nights with the NBA playoffs right here on Turner Sports. You're going to be involved with a little of that too, aren't you, Professor?
Yeah, I'll be out in Utah, if not tomorrow night, but for the game 2 of that series on Saturday between the Clippers and the Jazz.
Is that a power forward?
Speaking of the NBA, Dennis Rodman may have loaned that out for today here at 3Com.
I think that goes with the eye line.
Jeff Blauser will lead off, followed by Tom Glavine, then Kenny Lofton. Blauser comes in 387, a couple of home runs, 10 RBIs, off to a great start. Went 1 for 4 with a double last night. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Reeder's pitched well and some consistent baseball since he came to the Giants from Montreal. Made 6 starts in all, a 2-2 mark, an ERA 2.3.
Inside corner for a strike, 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes.
But he's doing it right today. Keeping the ball down, moving it in and out, and then keeping the right-handers honest with pitches like that.
The 1-2 on the way, misses outside, 2-2. The Giants off to a surprisingly good start with their pitching. Their team earned run average actually higher or better than Atlanta's. They are ranked 3rd in the league, 257. The Braves started the day 4th in the league, 261. Deep to left field by Blauser, up in that wind though. Bonds fighting the sun all the way, and he stays with it and makes the catch. 1 gone.
That ball's probably a home run last night. But today with this wind, it's like it hit a wall out there. You can see the sun gleaming in the sunglasses of Barry Bonds. Last night he was fighting the lights.
Now the pitcher, Tom Glavine. 2 for 7 on the year. A couple of RBIs. Fouls off the first one, 0-1. Nothing into the count. Boy, Reeder has been 0-2 on everybody. Stop a swing, unable to. Second strikeout of the game for Reeder, 2 gone. Here in the top of the 3rd. Back we go now to the top of the order. Kenny Lofton. Lofton grounded out to second his first time up. For the first time in 6 games. Did not lead off the game with a base hit.
And he fell behind 0-2 in that at bat. So Reeder's doing a great job of getting ahead in the count, as you mentioned.
Nothing in 1. That evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lofton.
Talking about their pitching, Pete, they're not going to be an offensive machine. They're going to struggle to score runs all year. And that's why that pitching is so important.
It's been the key to their success this year has been their pitching, the starters, the bullpen. No ERA on the staff higher than 3.38 right now. 2-2 the count at Lofton. And a lot of new faces out in that bullpen.
And a few new faces in the dugout. We talked about that last night too. Ron Peronoski, the veteran pitching coach, there to help out too.
Full count now, 3-2 on Kenny Lofton.
Their schedule, beginning with the Marlins over the last weekend, even though they swept Florida, began to get a little tougher too.
Right back to the pitcher. And that's 8 in a row set down by Kirk Reeder. We go to the bottom of the 3rd.
Going to the bottom of the 8th, Vaughn is homer for Boston, Thome for the Indians, and one final. Yankees beat Milwaukee 10-5 as Kenny Rogers won his 2nd game.
Here it's 3-0 Giants, and Stan Javier leads off the bottom of the 3rd. He had a base hit off Chipper Jones' glove his first time up. Takes a strike outside corner. Well-traveled outfielder. Began with the Yankees, then went to Oakland, then the Dodgers, then the Phillies, then the California Angels, then back to Oakland. Last year became a Giant. One ball, 1 strike.
Goes back to what I said about him earlier. He does a lot of things well. He may not do anything great, but he certainly doesn't hurt you defensively. Can play into the outfield spots.
2-1.
His dad was pretty salty ball player, too, wasn't he?
Julian Javier with those great St. Louis Cardinal teams. 3-1 again. He and Cal Maxwell got a double play combination.
Pretty good foursome on the infield period, wasn't it? Defensively, Ken Boyer, Bill White.
Bill White at the other corner.
Mercy. Talk about some defense.
Blauser gets a glove on it, but can't come up with it. Javier's 2 for 2. Hit number 5 off Glavine.
0 for 19 against Tommy, now 2 for 2 today. Hit this ball sharply, and Jeff's only chance was to spear that one hop, and he didn't come up with it.
Now Glenn Allen Hill hit into a 1-6 force play his first time up. Here's a guy, Joe, it seems like he has been on the brink of developing into a really big-time major league player his entire career. Everybody says, well, he's almost to the point we think he can be a star in this league. Toronto, Cleveland, the Cubs, now with the Giants, never seems to be able to take that next step. Maybe this will be the year. He's off to a good start. Double play ball. Lemke, Blauser, McGriff.
Injuries have played a part of that, too. Last year, he had to miss a lot of time with the Giants after, I think it was his wrist that he injured on a diving effort. But you're right, he's got great talent. And I think with Gene Kleins in the dugout as their hitting coach, I think constantly reminding him of the things he has to do to be successful, I think he'll have a big year.
Well, here's the star of this one offensively to this point, Barry Bonds, that 3-run inside the park homer back in the first inning. His second home run of the year, his second career inside the park homer. And he lines this one up the middle. Base hit left center field. Lofton on the run. Bonds takes the turn at first. And now the ball dropped out there, and Bonds going to try for 2, then throw to second base, and in safely, Barry Bonds. Hitting an error.
Puts a little more pressure on Tom Glavine to pitch to Jeff Kent with a runner at second instead of first. Nice swing by Bonds on the pitch down and away from him. Kenny got there okay, but then tried to hurry and bobbled it and having it bounce off his foot. A rare error for Kenny Lofton. You can see Bonds had no intentions of going to second until the ball got away.
So with 2 outs, Bonds stands at second for Jeff Kent, who grounded out to short his first time up. That's very unusual for Kenny Lofton to see him boot a ball. Gold Glover. The American League, that's his first error this year.
As I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, Professor, but last year Marquise made a couple of errors all year long, and both of them were like that.
Yeah.
Drop balls that he began to throw on, and they slip out of his hand, and the runner got an extra base. They weren't missed fly balls. They weren't throwing errors, just a couple that they dropped.
2-0, the count on Kent. Right at the third baseman, Chipper Jones, and Glavine's out of the inning. Gives up a couple of hits. The Braves commit 1 error behind him. But we go to the 4th with no change in the score.
Lemke, Chipper Jones, and Fred McGriff. Kurt Reeder has been outstanding. Getting ahead in the count, working the corners, keeping the ball down. This is inside with that one. Bright sunshine, brisk winds, 15 to 20 miles an hour when we started. 2-0.
Usually during the daytime, the winds don't play that big a factor until you get late in the game, maybe 4 o'clock or so local time. It's been very, very breezy today.
3-0. Suddenly behind a hitter and the leadoff man in the 4th. Generally speaking, Pete, and we saw evidence of that. Blauser's ball that he hit to left, it just died in the wind. In the past, if you hit the ball near the line and right, you've got some help. help. There's some. A leadoff walk. One of the longest home runs I ever saw hit was hit here by Rick Monday while with the Dodgers. He hit one in the upper deck out there by where that Stocks Bonds and Mutual Fund sign is, and almost up into the exit. Chipper Jones struck out his first time up, shows bunt. That's 5 straight delivered by Reeder. It's 328 down the lines, 365 to the gap in right center, but almost into that exit above that bullseye. Going up as it hit the stands. Good bunt. Tough play for Lewis. He's got to hurry. Didn't get him. It was a hard bunt, but it was bunted in a great spot. Lewis was fairly close to the bag at third base and had a hard time getting to it.
Yeah, once this got past the pitcher, once Kirk Reeder was unable to make a play, you knew that Chipper had a shot at it. Mark Lewis, good throwing arm. He showed us that last night. Makes it close, but Chipper beats it out. You could see how far Lewis had to come in to get that ball.
Yeah, and he started in and then had to make a little bit of a left turn to go after it. Tying run to the plate, and Fred McGriff, who grounded to third his first time up. 5 for 16 on the road trip with a double and 5 RBIs. That should be 2. Kent to Vizcaino. Nice stretch by Snow, 2 down. Lemke at third for Andruw Jones.
A real rally killer here. Kent to Vizcaino and on to Snow. Easily done.
That's part of the reason for their success, is the way they've been catching and throwing the baseballs. It was not evident last night, and it hurt them. But when you don't score a run, you're not going to win.
Yeah, Dusty Baker credits their defense above everything for the good start they're off to.
Andruw Jones hit the ball hard his first time up, but a one-hopper speared by Reeder. Changeup misses, 2-0. Andrew's 2 for 7 on the road trip with a homer. Time called as you see some more dust being blown up at home plate there. The scary part about playing the outfield here, Pete, is if when you think you've got a read on what the wind is doing to a baseball, time called now, and Dick Pole out to talk to his pitcher. But just when you think that you know how the ball is going to be played, how the wind's going to affect it, the wind changes direction or it swirls in the park, and you really get eaten up.
Well, you see a lot of strange things on windy days here at Candlestick. We've seen balls that have looked like they were going to be in the seats foul blow back into fair territory.
Very gusty today here on the point. Went upstairs with a fastball, 2-1. Maybe Dick Pole noticed something about his mechanics that had gotten off here this inning. Went after a bad pitch, 2-2.
That is one pitch that Andruw is going to have to learn to lay off of. That pitch that's down and away. See him chase a lot of those.
Especially when he's ahead in the count. There's no reason to offer that at that pitch. 2-2. Took that one, full count. That double play turned by the Giants this inning. Only the 9th they've turned this year. That compares to the Braves' 22. Payoff pitch, got him with the same pitch, Pete. That one was a little bit up. Good changeup. He has his 3rd strikeout, and he pitches out of trouble. Braves leave a runner. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0.
Let's give you the answer to today's Aflac trivia question. Question was about Barry Bonds. He became the 2nd major leaguer in history to accomplish what feat last season. He had himself a 40-40 year. 42 homers, 40 stolen bases. Jose Canseco in 1988 had 42 homers and 40 stolen bases.
There were several other candidates for that last year that didn't quite get there, including Ellis Burks, who had a 30-30 year for the Colorado Rockies. Rick Wilkins, Mark Lewis, and J.T. Snow for the Giants here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They lead 3-zip. Wilkins grounded out to McGriff his first time up. He's really fighting it. 6 for 42. You just joined us. Barry Bonds had a 3-run inside the park home run in the first for all the scoring. 2-0. Wins this year, a couple of close games, 1 blowout, and beat Houston 3-2 at the Astrodome, won 4-2 against the Astros at home, and then 14-0 at the beginning of this road trip at Colorado. Now 3-0 to Wilkins. He walked it. A leadoff walk to Wilkins on 4 pitches. Reeder was able to pitch out of trouble in the top of the inning after a leadoff walk. First walk issued by Tom today. Lewis was 1 for 3 last night and had a stolen base. He's 0 for 1 today, grounded out. Chance for 2? No, just 1. Glavine couldn't handle it cleanly.
Another one of those almost plays, Joe. The Braves have been just a little bit out of sync all day long. Things that they've been doing so naturally in the early going this year have a little trouble executing today. That's another double play ball if Glavine fields it cleanly, but unable to. He gets the sure out at first, but that runner in scoring position now.
For J.T. Snow. He hit a bloop, wind-blown single out behind second his first time up. And got his average up over 200. I know he's excited about that. That's one step. Speaking of fathers and sons, we're talking about Javier. This guy's dad, pretty good football player, Jack Snow. I think all of his career with the Rams.
With the Rams, right? When they were in Los Angeles still.
Another one, almost the same spot, but Andrew Jones was playing shallow, slipped a little bit, but made the catch. 2 down.
Boy, for a moment, it looked like that one was going to drop in when Andrew lost his footing.
Andrew was going to have plenty of time, but then planted his foot. And the pitcher, Kirk Reeder, will try to help himself. Get into a fielder's choice, trying to move runners into scoring position with a bunt or a fake bunt and a hack away his last time up. 0-1. An off day tomorrow, then the Braves back home Friday night. The 3-game series beginning with the Padres. Denny Nagel against Andy Ashby. 1-1 the count.
And a chance for you Braves fans over the weekend to watch one of the all-time great hitters, Tony Gwynn. 408 he's hitting right now. He'll be in town. He is just a marvel to watch.
Saw an interview with Gary Sheffield over the weekend. He was asked his chances to winning the Triple Crown. He said, as long as Tony Gwynn's playing, no.
There are your matchups. Sterling Hitchcock against John Smoltz on Saturday. And Tim Worrell against Greg Maddux on Sunday.
Padres come into play in last place in the West, but they have a 9-8 record. A wave and a miss, and Reeder is down on strikes. And that is Tom Glavine's first strikeout of the afternoon. And we played 4 innings. Giants leading the Braves 3-0.
Atlanta Butter.
And is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission of the pictures or descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Final score in from Cleveland. They rallied to beat Boston 11-7. 5 runs in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Jack McDowell the winner. Old Vaughn, Jim Thome had home runs. And speaking of homers, all the scoring in our contest came in the first inning with Vizcaino and Glenn Allen Hill on base. Barry Bonds going for his 1,000th RBI, drops this one down the left field line. Ryan Klesko crashed hard into the wall and then didn't get up to get the baseball. And by the time he recovered, Barry Bonds circled the bases easily. His second home run of the year. He now has 9 RBIs, and he went over the 1,000 mark, career ribbies. Lopez, Klesko, and Blauser due up here in the 5th. Kirk Reeder's allowed only 2 hits. First inning single to Lemke and a 4th inning bunt single to Chipper Jones. 1-1 the count. How about this beat for Reeder? Inside 11 of the 12 outs recorded by either ground balls or strikeouts. The only fly out was the hard hit ball by Blauser to left that got hung up in the wind.
And the 2 base hits. Lemke more of a bouncing blinder up the middle. Chipper Jones, that butt single.
Lopez bailed out. He was lucky that Reeder stopped, because I don't think he would have had to. I think that pitch might have counted. But again, the wind flipping that dirt up into the hitter's eyes. Three balls and a strike. Reeder walked one batter, the leadoff man in the 4th, but it didn't hurt him. An easy play for Kent. 1 out. Another grounder. Brian Klesko grounded to short his first time up. He is 4 for 15 on the road trip with that monster home run he hit at Colorado and 5 RBIs. Yeah. Breaking ball that didn't break much. Fastball on the corner. Inside, outside.
He is pitching brilliantly right now.
Inside, outside, nothing up. The only pitch he really left up was that pitch up and away to Andrew Jones that he went after.
But that was a purpose pitch.
Yes, it was. And for the most part, he's been ahead of the hitters all afternoon, and he's ahead of Klesko 1 and 2. Got him. Painted the corner. His 4th strikeout. Blauser, the hitter, with 2 down.
Watch the target. Bullseye.
Exactly where Rick Wilkins wanted it. Blauser's 3 for 14 on the road trip. 1-0 the count. He's only 1 for 9 lifetime against Reeder. Two 2-0. Reeder's not wasting any time either.
No, he isn't. He's working very quickly. Hitter's stepping out, in fact, to slow him down a little bit.
3-0 with the pitcher on deck. If Blauser is going to take a pitch here to try to get something started with 2 outs. Braves trailing by 3. He is taking, and there's ball 4, second walk issued. That gets the pitcher up. And not just any pitcher, but Tom Glavine, who's a pretty good hitting pitcher. 2 for 8 on the year. Struck out his first time up. And Wilkins out maybe to slow Reeder down just a little bit. With the wind blowing like it is, Pete, no reason for Barry Bonds to play deep with Glavine up there, and he is very shallow and looks like he's trying to reposition all the other outfielders too. He's talking to Javier and then got Glenn Allen Hill's attention.
Well, Glavine has that inside-out swing. He gets a lot of balls hit out that way.
Showed bunt just to pull Lewis in a little bit, and Reeder misses again. Again, 1-1 the count. He has that inside-out swing, but he might have something he can take advantage of here, Pete, if they try to pitch him inside again, and that's so he could pull the ball in the hole. But up and away, and it's out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. Blauser at first, 2 out. We're in the 5th. One way to describe that today is excellent control. Got him with a breaking ball. Glavine down on strikes for the 2nd time. Braves strand another runner. We played 4.5. Skip Carey and Don Sutton headed over. It's 3-0 Giants.
He's done a good job. Tom Glavine hasn't pitched that badly. Hasn't had much support. And the top of the order, Jose Vizcaino leads it off against him in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 3-6-0 for the Giants, 0-2-1 for the Braves. Strike on the corner, 0-1.
What a strange first inning for
bloody.
Glavine and the Braves.
And Klesko. The 0-1 pitch. It's 1-1. Vizcaino has singled and scored. He has tapped to the mound. If you just joined us, a single by Vizcaino, a single by Javier. There was actually an error. Ground ball to third. Chipper to his left, goes to his knees, makes the play. Good play. 1 out. Then Hill hit into fielder's choice, and Bonds hit a wind-blown fly ball down the left field line that wound up a 3-run inside the park home.
And almost cost the Braves our left fielder. Ryan Klesko banged his head against the wall, diving for it.
Stan Javier's 2 out of 2. One of them is actually a hit. At the knees, outside corner, 0-1. Home on Friday against the Padres. No TV, but Denny Nagel against Andy Ashby. Pop, that could be an adventure in this wind. Who wants it? Andrew Jones calls everybody off and makes the play. 2 down.
Sometimes it takes young players a while to figure this park out. That was a good move because the wind is blowing everything toward right field. You saw Kenny Lofton give away right away. Lemke got no shot. And for young Andrew Jones, taking charge right away made what could have been an adventure an easier play.
I hope our old friend Bob Horner is watching today.
Did he have some fun?
Oh, God, he hated this place. 2 out, nobody on. He'd run himself around in circles, cover about 180 yards, did all that foul territory around third base, and he'd miss it by 25 feet. Hill has scored a run. He's 0 for 2, and he pops that one out of play.
Yeah, the wind can turn it into an adventure. I remember giving up inside the park homer here that landed about 45 feet back at second base. It was when they had the AstroTurf, and much like the fly ball that Lofton and Andrew Jones and Lemke were all around, it bounced over the center fielder's head.
And the great part about that is you took it with such great aplomb.
They did?
I'm sure you were laughing.
Yeah, right. I think that's the day I walked back to the Sheraton Palace, which is not really a smart idea here. It wasn't a smart idea now. It wasn't a smart idea then.
1-2, the count. Hit hard past McGriff off his glove. That'll be a hit. And Barry Bonds will bat with a runner aboard and 2 out. Bonds is 2 out of 2. He is now 18 out of 50 against Glavine with 3 homers.
That's a base hit by Glenn Allen Hill that the way he was swinging early in spring training, he had no chance of getting. He was pulling off of everything, but Gene Klein's got him worked with him with tapping that front foot, keeping his weight back. That gave him enough plate coverage to hit that past McGriff.
So Bonds stands in there. Strike at the knees, 0-1. The Reds lose again to the Mets 10-2. Cincinnati's pitching is in disarray. 0-1 the count with a runner at first and 2 out. One and one the count.
Early in the ball game, the Braves did not have the shift on against Bonds with Glavine out there, but now the shift is on with 3 infielders to the right side of second. Nobody about 80 feet from the third base line over to where Chipper Jones is standing.
With 2 out, they figure he'll be trying to hit 1 out. Instead, he hits 1 back here.
Close.
1-2 the count. Incoming. Runner at first, 2 down. Shift right at Lemke, and the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. 5 innings have gone by. The Giants enjoy a 3-0 lead.
Lead at 3-0. That, in a nutshell, is your Budweiser game summary.
Right you are, Don Sutton, and Ken Lofton, top of the order for Atlanta here in the 6th. Lofton, Lemke, and Chipper Jones, the first 3 against Kirk Reeder, who has been tough. He has allowed just 2 hits through 5. Lofton is 0 for 2. And he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Mike Krukow is one of the television announcers for the Giants, and talked to him quite a bit yesterday about Reeder. And he said he's a guy that's not going to throw 95 miles an hour. But he's going to keep the ball down in the strike zone, and all of the Giants staff and all the people around here think that he is ready to step into.
Good play. Good hustling play by Mark Lewis. If that ball hits the turf, there's no way they throw Lofton out. 1 down.
Got a good jump, made a good dive on it. Tough pitch to bunt, popped it in the air. That may be extra bases if he doesn't make that play. Getting back to Reeder, they said that he is now getting more comfortable in the style of pitcher that he is. Change his speeds, keep it down in the strike zone, and be content getting outs any way he can. And he's certainly doing that today.
Remember the last game he pitched against us last year? It was a Sunday afternoon in Atlanta, and he walked a bunch of guys and was behind a bunch of guys. And Philippe Alou yanked him, and he was in the minor leagues a day later and in the Giants organization within about a week. So I think we were instrumental in his career. And whatever they've done here has certainly paid off, at least to this point in time.
Well, I think the selling job was convincing him that his stuff was good enough that if he keeps it in the strike zone, you're going to get ground balls. This is a good ground ball park. It's never has had a real quick infield. And he's throwing strikes and getting easy outs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Maybe I'm wrong. The board says 3-1, but I believe it's 2-2. Doesn't matter anymore. That little flare is going to fall. Boy, if Hill keeps running, he catches that ball. He played that as if he was on AstroTurf, and he isn't. There's a break for Atlanta.
Most of the time here, the ball, you hit it a little bit higher, travels well in right field. But this one just kind of nosedives right in front of Hill. One more step, and you're right, he makes that catch about knee high.
Chipper Jones, the batter, 1 for 2, a bunt single. He struck out on his other plate appearance. Downstairs with a breaking ball, 1 ball, no strikes. They're in the 6th now, Florida and Colorado, 2-2. On one scoreboard, on the other scoreboard, they're on the 6th, and Colorado leads 5-2.
That scoreboard is closer. It's on the Colorado side, so they get the news quicker.
It's amazing. It's a strange ballpark. They got a rat running around here disguised as a seal. The 2-0 pitch. Swung and corked into center field. That ball is well hit. Javier is back there, though. He battles the wind and the sun and has it. Chipper hit that ball hard, but out. Here's Fred McGriff. Braves have really had only 1 chance in the game to do serious damage. First 2 runners on in the 4th. But Fred hit into a 4-6-3 double play, and Reeder got out of it.
You got a chance to see how the flags are blowing out toward right field. What Javier did and what experienced outfielder will do here is that ball was hit right at him, but he immediately started moving toward right center. That's where it was going to end up.
Into the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first with 2 down. Lazy pop. That might be trouble, too. In short right center, Javier comes on. He's got it. And the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Giants.
Only on Friday and Tuesday. TBS Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and that's what's on deck for the Atlanta Braves.
And on Friday and Tuesday, Atlanta hoops action as the NBA playoffs get underway. Jeff Kent leads off the bottom of the 6th. All Glavine can do is try to hold them right where they are and hope his teammates can rally.
This is one of those days at the park, like the day you threw out the script for the Open and it came back to you later on or something.
Yeah, we threw it out of the TV booth, and 8 innings later it arrived in the radio booth and flew all the way around the ballpark. There's Lou Seal, who looks like a rat. 2-0 the count.
What's your favorite mascot?
Boy, Lou is...
I know, Lou is
Lou
fine.
and Mr. Red and Fred Bird are all in there flat-footed time. Look at the dust and gunk blow into the hitter's face here. A most forgettable ballpark. But good burritos. 2 balls, no strikes.
SBD burritos.
Yep. Center field. Good luck, Kenny. Good luck, Mark. Good luck, Jeff. It's Lemke who makes the catch, 1 away.
Watch this one come back to Mark Lemke. Everybody's headed out. Lofton is hustling in. Lemke's looking to Blauser, begging him to please take it, and Blauser going, no chance.
He probably said something like, good luck, buddy. 1 out. Wilkins has grounded to first, and he has drawn a free pass. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, now, let's see. They've had the crab here. They the seal.
That's the crab singular. It was a mascot they had some years ago.
What would you use as the mascot if you were here?
Don't ask me that. Don't go there. 1-1 the count. One and two now.
He's trying to get you off the rat track.
That thing, it's not my fault it looks like a rat. It just does. 1-2 the count. Oh, that was close. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mark Lewis waits on deck. Broken bat, top out of play. So Wilkins heads for the bat rack. He's off to a slow start. He came in hitting 146. He's a 143 now. But he says he feels good, and he's starting to make better contact. The Marlins having a tough road trip. They're losing again to Colorado 5-2. Colorado bats in 7th. All the scores for you on the award-winning Delta scoreboard coming up soon. See ya. Wilkins caught looking, 2 down. Second strikeout for Glavine.
And a good pitch for Tom Glavine. Started that fastball off the plate. See where Javi Lopez is sitting. See it come back over just enough to catch the corner.
And Mark Lewis stands in with 2 out, nobody aboard. Lewis has grounded to short and hit 1 back to the mound. Doesn't make contact. 0-1. Congratulations on this foundation you're setting up at Piedmont Hospital.
Well, thank you. We owe Mary and I and Jackie a great debt of gratitude to our friends at Piedmont.
High fly ball, pretty well hit right field, but Andrew Jones has a bead on it. And the inning is over. 1-2-3, nothing doing at the end of 6. 3-0 Giants.
Beginning at 8 o'clock. I'm sure if you check that schedule right there, one of your favorites is somewhere there. There's a whole lot of NBA on TBS and TNT starting tonight.
And the first pitch is outside to Andrew Jones as we venture on into the 7th inning. Both bullpens are busy. Paul Bird for us. The pitch hit right back where it came from. 1 away.
He's made about 3 of those plays today where he looks like he's looking someplace else, and the ball just jumps right in his glove. You know you're going good when you catch those hit up the middle.
There's Paul. Julio Tavares, Rich Rodriguez in their bullpen. Rodriguez is the left-hander. Javi Lopez, a home run cut, but he came up empty 0-1. Ball on a strike. Getting back to your foundation, we don't want to belabor the point. I know you don't, but as we go along, we'll let the fans know how they can become involved.
Well, we owe so much to the... Jackie was born so early. We owe so much to the nurses and the doctors and all the people at Piedmont NICU. So what we'd like to do is to help them see that other parents can come through that as fortunately as we have. We appreciate everybody who's already expressed an interest, and we'll keep you posted as it goes along, and hopefully as advances are made in the care of at-risk youngsters, that the top of the line will be right there at Piedmont.
3-1 pitch. It's low, so Lopez draws a pass. 3rd walk given up by Reeder. Ryan Klesko will be the batter. And Wilkins, for one of the many times today, goes to the mound to give his bullpen this time, I guess. a chance to ready itself. Klesko has flied to left and walked, and here comes Dick Pole again, the pitching coach. So Pole and Reeder will meet on the mound with Wilkins. Padres in town over the weekend. We will televise Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Hoops on Friday and Tuesday.
The Giants think their catcher of the future is a young man named Marcus Jensen. And they are carrying 3 catchers now. They like a lot of things about Rick Wilkins. They like Damon Berryhill's experience. They especially like the way Damon Berryhill works with William Van Landingham. But expect in the near future, as he continues to progress, that a young man named Marcus Jensen, who can catch and can throw, and if his bat just keeps getting a little bit better, is going to log a lot of time behind the plate here.
Runner at first, 1 out. Klesko hits the ball hard to left. Back goes Bonds to the wall. That ball is gone. Home run. It bounces back onto the field, but suddenly it's a 3-2 ball game. Klesko took it out the other way. The Braves are back in business here, down by only 1. For Ryan, his second homer, his 11th and 12th RBI. 3-2 Giants.
Most of the time, the ball carries better in right than it does in left, but today is one of those days when the wind is blowing out toward right field, but the ball is carrying better to left. That ball into the stands. Pretty nice deke there by Bonds, who came up with it quickly. We'll give some credit to Ed Montague. He was way out there in the position to have a good look at it and to make the right call.
Yes, he was. He did his job. And with that wind blowing, you got to hit the ball viciously hard to get it out today. Glauser out of the batter's box, and that's going to be all for Reeder. Here comes Dusty Baker. Second visit of the inning, so you know probably Taveras will be coming into this game. But we shall wait. See which one of them it is. It is Taveras, so Dusty Baker has made the Bell South call to the bullpen. For some reason, he fell to 4-7 with a 5.36 earned run average, and actually pitched a couple of games in Buffalo as they tried to get him straightened out, and then he came over in the Matt Williams trade.
He had some problems last year, too, and he got into a little brawl in Milwaukee with the Brewers and an altercation with the umpire. And there were a lot of people think that, along with the fact it came at a time when he was struggling to try to right himself and to get himself going. They thought, put all those things together, that a trip to the minor leagues was what he needed, and he pitched well down at AAA.
There is 1 out here in the 7th inning. Nobody on, but 2 runs are in. Glavine is on deck, and Bird has taken a seat in the Atlanta bullpen. Taveras goes to work upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
His career is one of those, Skip, you see a lot with young guys who throw hard to minor leagues. They'll be starters, and then all of a sudden somebody at the big league level will say, this guy throws hard, let's make him a reliever.
Jeff gets around late, fouls it into the upper deck.
He only had 4 or 5 relief appearances in the minor leagues until he was called up to Cleveland. Then he was a starter when he was first called up to Cleveland. It was in that 95 season that they decided they wanted him coming out of the bullpen for short stints.
High chopper toward short as Caena gets a funny hop, makes a good play and throws him out. He had to reverse directions on that ball, and he did so nicely. Glavine will hit for himself here.
Tricky spin. Watch the ball kick toward the third base side, off balance. Actually off balance, but it put him in a better throwing position than he would have been in if he had come straight at it. He's already primed to throw. Got a lot on it. Very accurate.
Tom Glavine has struck out twice, but now he faces a right-hander. Strike called. In that World Series in 5 games, Taveras won 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, no runs. So he pitched very well against us on those occasions. 1-1 the count.
I love his delivery. Clears everything out. He should never hurt his shoulder or his elbow. Watch how all his momentum goes. Boy, he gets good leverage.
He's out of the Dominican, and he shows some good sense, too. He spent the winter of 94-95 with the Cleveland Indians Director of Community Relations, Alvin Davis, just so he could learn to speak English. Which has to make your life a lot easier when you're in a land where they speak a language other than your own. 3-1, the count to Glavine. A walk would be so nice. Nope, not yet. 3-2.
You're pretty sure Glavine is not capable of hitting a home run, so you got to put one in there and let him put it in play.
He did, but it's tap foul. He'll have to do it again. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 8th, Colorado leads the Marlins 6-2 now. If the Braves could turn this around, and that stays the way it is, we'd enjoy a 5-game lead as we fly home. Line foul to left. Still 3-2. What was John Miller's phrase of the day today?
Yesterday was low.
Ball 1.
Ball 1.
The pitch. Low. Ball 4. So Glavine is on with 2 out. Let's see if the right-hander comes, or the left-hander comes in as Lofton heads for the plate.
I remember. Check swing. Strike.
That's a good one.
Only if appropriate.
There's John. Does a great job on ESPN, the former Orioles announcer.
What a dry hit.
Here comes Dusty Baker. It looks like double switch time may be upon us. Rodriguez, the left-hander, is in the bullpen.
I think that's Phil Mueller's going to come in.
Mueller comes in to play third, and Rodriguez is almost certainly going to come on the pitch, and we'll be back right after this. And 2 men out. Rodriguez completes his warm-up tosses for the year. He's 2-1, an earned run average of 2, and this is his 11th appearance already. Now his job is to try to get him out here and try to get him out in the 8th, and then they'll turn it over to Rod Beck if they still have the lead in the 9th. And he would seek his 11th save. Glavine a short lead at first. He runs very well, though, ordinarily. The pitch, swung, hit foul to left, 0-1. It looked to me like in the first inning, Tommy hurt his right knee. But the way he acted, it was almost like he'd sprained his back or something.
Yeah, the way he bent over, and that's normally, you see a guy trying to stretch his back. But he recovered quickly.
He's pitched very well. 0-2, a couple good pitches by Rodriguez to Lofton, who is hitless today. He's grounded second, tap to the mound, pop to third. That's news when this guy cools off a little bit. Did he go? No.
Nasty pitch. Boy, he did a great job laying off of that.
Yeah, that was close.
Watch this to see if he swung. We have seen shorter ones called.
That's a tough call for the umpire. I'd like to see the other angle, see if it was a strike.
Boy, was that a good pitch.
Up the middle, Lofton gets a hit after the reprieve. Glavine around second, pumping toward third. He will make it without a play. So Lofton delivers, and Mark Lemke is the hitter. After almost being called out, Lofton rips a single to center, and the tying run is 90 feet away. Here's the pitch that created the problem here in San Francisco.
Unless Wilkins is behind the right-handed batter's box, that's close. Now, how many times have we seen Lofton do that, though, with 2 strikes where he gets a pitch that's a pitcher's pitch? Anytime he puts it in play, he's a threat to get a base hit because of his speed. And if an infielder has to take 2 steps either way to glove it, you're not going to get him.
Another left-hander begins to throw in the bullpen for the Giants. Mark Lemke stands in. He has singled. He has singled again. He has walked. He's up now with a tying run at third. Go ahead run at first. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Jim Poole is the left-hander, and now Doug Henry, a right-hander, gets up as well. Line drive down the left field line. Fair ball. That scores 1. Watch Lofton. He's around third. Here's the relay. They're going to have to hold him. It's a double for Lemke and a tie game. There was no chance for him to score on that ball because Lemke hit it. If you had to criticize anything, you'd say he hit it too hard. But you can't say that, and the game is tied.
Looking for something to handle up, pulls it. Bonds did a good job of playing the wall. It bounces right back to him, and he wastes no time and hits the cutoff end. Here's Lofton. Watch him hit that high gear. He takes a peek here, but once he hits that bag, he's in the hands of Bobby Dews, and the ball as close as you can see. Third baseman waiting for it. Good, smart call to hold him up there.
So Dick Pohl is on the mound again. You can shut the books on Taveras at third of an inning. No hits, but a run and a walk. And that walk has come home to roost.
And an unfortunate inning for Reeder, too. He pitched well enough to win, but he'll have nothing to do with this one.
He's got nothing to show for this one way or the other. Tom Glavine is off the hook, at least for now. He pitches on in the game. And the other importance of that hit is it gets him to the bench for a little rest. So Chipper Jones is the batter. Chipper today is 1 for 3, and that was a bunt single. Base hit here means 2.
I bet that conversation was to decide whether or not to pitch to him or put him on, but he's hitting about 130 points lower as a right-handed hitter than he is as a lefty.
He's in the head of the count. It's obvious that they're not going to make a big deal about getting him out. If they can get him out, great. If they lose him, they don't really care.
If you're looking for matchups, only 1 at bat.
That'll end the inning. They should. Javier on the run, so's the right fielder Hill. Javier makes the catch and the inning is over, but the Braves battle back to tie the game. They scored 3 times on 3 hits and leave 2. We go to the bottom half of the 7th. All tied, 3-3.
Too bad about that headache, hon. I guess we're staying home.
Hold it here until a garbage bag lands and foul throw. But the wind catches it and, well, blows it into the seats. But now it's gusting higher and higher and blows right into the upper deck. There's the play-by-play story on that. And Snow leads off the 7th. He is singled and fly to right. Brand new ball game, tied at 3. 7 hits for the Giants, 6 for the Braves. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes. No telecast tomorrow because there's no game.
You're probably going to work in your yard, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm going to feed the birds.
Through the window.
Feeding the birds is about my limit of my yard work. The 2-0 pitch. Foul back, 2-1. Friday's game will be on Sports South. As will, I would imagine, Tuesday's game. We'll have the rest of it. Fly ball into short center field. On comes Lawson. Andrew Jones as well. And he crosses things up, and it drops as a hit. He called for the ball, and then he stopped.
But Kenny Lofton almost certainly had no chance. We were talking earlier about any ball hit straight towards center field on a day like this, you immediately start looking for the right fielder because the wind is going to blow it to right center. This ball is headed right for Andrew Jones, calls him off, then looks, and by that time it drops in. And that is scored as an oops.
Miscommunications out there.
Every fly ball on a windy day here is an adventure.
This guy Miller hit .330 for the Giants last year and 200 and some at bats. He's putting here, takes it low. He's hitting in the 9th spot on the order. He's out of Southwest Missouri State College in Springfield, Missouri.
See, they give him a hit on that, but there, again, is your argument.
Team error.
Team error. There is no way Tom Glavine should be penalized for making a good pitch and popping the guy up.
The pitch is swung and hopefully foul tip. It was because Snow was winning. But he will have to return to first. 1-1 the count. Stands in. Top of the order, waits to hit next. And the 1-1 pitch. He's butting, and it's a good one back toward the mound. Tommy's got only one play to make. He makes it. Runner at second, one out. 1-4 sacrifice.
He does deaden this ball nicely. Pushes it toward first, forces Glavine to field it. Not even any thought of looking toward second. Once you've played for a while, you know there are certain areas when you pick up the ball and when a bunt is put there, you know you're only going to get one out, so you go ahead and take the out that you have.
Jose Vizcaino, the batter, he's 1 out of 3. A solid single to right center. Bottom of the 7th, tie game downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. That's a couple times today. A ground ball by Javier was scored a hit. A routine ground ball that Chipper could not come up with. A tough play between hops, go right at him. And thus an extra earned run on Tommy Slate. Oh, that really hurts. Runner to third. He's around third. He'll hold there. That changes the whole inning around. Infield has to come in now.
That's going to be a wild pitch down in the dirt. May have hit the front of the plate. Let's see if it catches right on the front of the plate. Actually hit on the back of it. Looked like Javi Lopez tried to backhand it. Skipped off his left shoulder. Right on the back of the plate. Instead of just trying to knock it down, he tried to catch it. And you're right. Glavine in a jam now.
Now you got a guy who doesn't strike out much hitting. You got the infield in. The wind is blowing. Brad Clontz, Alan Embry in the bullpen. And a right-hander up for the Giants as well. Line drive right at Blauser. Boy, there's a break. Vizcaino hit the daylights out of it, but right at the Atlanta shortstop. So now the infield can back up again. Here's Javier, who was 0 for 19 against Glavine when the day started. He's now 2 for 22.
That's why some parts of this game will drive you nuts if you're pitching or if you're watching it. Makes a perfect pitch, gets a blooper to right, base hit, makes a pitch over the heart of the plate, gets a hit right on the nose, out. They say it all evens out, but I think some of us can't live long enough to see it.
Javier doesn't get the change, 0-1. One thing about Glavine, I don't know of anything you could do to make him lose his cool during the game.
Nope.
It is. Cool customer.
And that's how he continues to win. He doesn't change his way of pitching just because circumstances around him change.
Ground ball to third, should be out of the inning. Chipper's throw is low, but McGriff digs it out, and the inning is over. A little shaky, but we'll take it. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, 1 left. 7 innings have gone by. The Giants and Braves tied at 3. It's tough.
Ball game. McDowell finally won one. Milwaukee lost to the Yankees. Rogers the win, Lloyd the save, and everything else in the American League coming up under the lights. It brings you up to date on the Delta scoreboard.
Hey, Don, thanks. But
hey, you okay, pal?
Fred McGriff leads off the 8th inning against Rich Rodriguez. Curve outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 3, our score in the 8th. Ground ball foul past first. It evens the count at 1-1. The Giants head to Houston tomorrow. Open a series there on Friday night. Braves come home and take on the Padres. Two balls and a strike to McGriff. Fred is 0 for 3. Andrew Jones on deck. Doug Henry in the Giant bullpen. Line drive fair into the left field corner. Bonds plays it perfectly. He'll hold him to a single. Boy, there's a big play. A big play by Bonds and a perfect throw to second. He doesn't have a strong arm, but he unloaded in a hurry. Tony Graffinino is going to come out and run for McGriff.
That's a couple of nice plays we've seen Bonds make. One on the ball off the wall, and this one, as it kicked off the wall near the bullpen, he is right in perfect position to make the play. Like you said, not very strong, but quick. And that saved the base. Kept McGriff at first.
And it may change the way Atlanta is forced to play the inning now. So Fred McGriff is through for the day. As we mentioned, Tony Graffinino will run.
Andrew Jones hasn't been called on the bunt many times.
Let's see if he's called on to do so here. The throw to first was to see if Jones would tip it off by sliding his hand up the mat. He did not, which doesn't mean he's not bunting, but he hasn't let him know.
What you find out, too, is that a lot of guys who aren't called on the bunt don't practice bunting a lot, so it's hard for them to, first couple of times, to get a good one down.
He shortened up as if to bunt, but he didn't square around at all. It was almost as if he was bunting for a hit.
And that's another thing you see hitters do a lot of times, try to bunt for a hit. They call it sacrifice because you give yourself up. You trade the out for a base, so squaring around makes it a lot easier.
And that's the big play by Bonds again. If the runner's already at second, Andrew Jones is wailing away here.
Yep. Could take a shot to the right side to move him over. Might end up with a base hit.
The 1-0 to first. Tony is back. Graffinino, great big guy, but he runs well. 3-3 in the 8th inning. That's the situation from Candlestick Point and 3Com Park. Count still 1-0. He's bunting. And he bunts it foul. Again, he didn't really square around. It's 1-1.
It's like a guy trying to bunt for a base hit. It's not really squaring around and making sure that you have the ball out in front of the plate. You mentioned Graffinino with good speed. And all he's got to do is get the ball halfway to the mound, and you accomplish what you set out to do. That's advance the base runner. Doesn't have to be a perfect bunt.
The 1-1, he shortened up again, but the throw is to first. Bobby Dews runs through the signs at third. Jim Poole up again, joins Henry in the Giant bullpen. He bunts, it's a good one. Only play will be to first. Kent covers. Andrew does his job, a 1-4 sacrifice.
Now that was good form, and that was a perfect bunt. All he did was deaden it out there, and you can see the Rodriguez didn't even look about it. Didn't even think about going to second. Good form, boom, right out in front. See how soft that ball came to rest there.
So Jones returns to the dugout, and high fives all around, and Javi Lopez is the batter. Another gust of wind, and time is called. Something is blown down in the right field corner. There's a security guy running around over there. And now all appears to be as it should be. Runner at second, one out. They're going to put Lopez on and take their chances with Ryan Plesko. This will be the first walk for Rodriguez. 2 on, 1 out for Atlanta. There's ball 3, and as day follows the night, here comes ball 4. 2 on, 1 out.
Could be a tough at bat for Ryan Klesko. It's the first time he's faced Rodriguez. If he has an at bat like he did earlier, where he keeps the front side close, stays in, and tries to hit it hard to left field, it'll be a lot easier. But Rodriguez can be tough on left-handers.
Embry in the Atlanta bullpen again as Klesko stands in. He socked a 2-run homer against the left-hander Reeder an inning ago. We're in the 8th. Braves threatening to take the lead. Strike outside corner. This is one of those spots where you don't want to think home run unless you hit it to the off field. If they come in on you, yeah, go ahead, but you expect to see breaking balls away, I would think. Raffanino and Lopez edge away. Klesko stands back in there.
A lot of times, if you check the outfield and the infield, they can tip you off as to how you're going to be pitched. If they're shaded over toward the left field side, pretty good chance you're not going to get a pitch inside.
Outside, 1-1. Marlins trying to rally. It's now 6-3 in the 8th. But Colorado is batting against, so they have just one more chance. Tried to pull an outside pitch. It's 1-2. Jeff Blauser on deck. A right-hander, Henry on the bullpen. The hitting heroes today have been Klesko with a 2-run homer and Mark Lemke with 3 hits. An RBI double included. A double that tied the game.
And he's been on all 4 times.
The 1-2 pitch. Into the dirt. Wilkins, a good play to keep that ball in front of him. Rodriguez, who makes his home in the Atlanta area now, strolls back up on top of the hill. Brad Klontz joins the festivities in the Atlanta bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. Swung a little tapper. Ran right into the out there. Throw to first, out there. Bad play by Javi. He turned that into a double play, and the Giants get out of the inning. 1 hit. No runs, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, all tied, 3-3. Glen Allen Hill is 1 out of 3. Scored a run.
Glavine had pitched a lot better ball game than a 3-3 tie. He gave a couple odd runs in the first inning, but he's pitched out of a couple of jams. The Giants had leadoff man on in the 3rd inning. They had the leadoff man in the 4th inning. The last couple of innings, he is, and the leadoff man on in the 7th inning, but he's made some really big pitches when they've had base runners on.
Hill stands in there. And Tommy goes to work. Swung and missed, 0-1. If you're wondering why Raffanino ran instead of Michael Tucker in the top half of this inning, the reason is if they'd have gotten that far, Tucker would have pinch hit for Glavine in the number 9 spot. We're guessing. That's what I would have done. Rod Beck is in their bullpen. The major league leader in saves with 10. But he can't save it if they don't have the lead. 17,050 that paid attendance today. $17050.
Sometimes on some hitters you want to come inside when you're setting up outside pitches, but Hill, there's no reason to.
Lays off. It's 1-2.
The way he opens up, you got a greater chance of making a mistake trying to set the pitch up than you do going ahead and going right to your out pitch. Get it way in.
Right off his thumb. Still 1-2. We come out here and play the Giants again, and we play the Rockies again on that same road trip before either of those teams make an appearance in our ballpark at Turner Field.
And we're through with this part of the league first or second week in June.
1-2 pitch. Got it. Hill turns right, one away. Glavine pitches gallantly here. That's his third strikeout. Here's Bonds.
See, when you're flying open like he does, watch the front side go down the third baseline. That changeup doesn't have to be down and away. It just has to be a changeup. He's way out in front of it.
Here's Bonds. The Braves go into their shift. He may take a shot the other way now. In a tie game like this late. But if he does, what you've done is virtually guarantee the ball stays in the park.
That's right. You put a shift on for one of two reasons. If he hits into the teeth of it, you got him out. And if he doesn't try to hit into it, you upset what he normally does.
The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Bonds chokes up on the bat. All you youngsters, if you're home from school, well, you are right now, check it out. You don't have to hold it right down on the knob. He's one of the best hitters ever who chokes up. Barrett sweeps outside. It's 1-2. His 3-run homer is the Giants scoring. That came way back in the first. Braves got 3 in the 7th. He took a shot at left field. 1-2. Down on the count now. He's even more likely to go that way.
And the Braves pitcher's doing something different than the rest of the National League. They haven't walked him in 2 ball games.
Jeff Kent waits on deck. Ground ball right at Blauser. That's a 6-3, even though he's on that side of the infield, and Glavine continues to roll along. 2 out for Jeff Kent, who has 20 RBIs on the year and 4 homers.
Got him with a pitch you don't see too many left-handed pitchers throw to left-handed hitters. That's a changeup. But instead of having it down and in, made it down and away. He just reached out, tried to pull it right into the shift.
So Kent stands in. Wilkins on deck. 3-3 our score. Oh, 1 ball, no strikes. They go to the 9th. Colorado leads Florida 7-3. Denver. Oh, that change of pace.
You remember when Jeff Kent came to the National League?
Indeed, I do.
He came from Toronto to the Mets. Trade that sent David Cone to Toronto. The one guy everybody raved about in the trade was an outfielder named Ryan Thompson.
Yeah.
Here's the guy that he was almost an afterthought in the trade, but he has matured into a good ball player.
And he hits that to deep right center field. Lofton on the run, still going. That ball bounces off the wall. Kent is in scoring position with 2 out. And he didn't miss by much getting that one right out of here once it got up in that wind. A long double for Jeff Kent. Wilkins will bat.
You hit it down low, that ball dies out there, but you get it up high in the wind. As we've seen a number of times already, you keep pushing it to right center field. And I'm not sure Kenny Lofton wasn't convinced that was going to be out of there. He did play the wall well. But for Kent, another clutch base hit, and he's had a lot of those already for the Giants.
So Wilkins comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. He's yet to hit the ball out of the infield. He's 2 out of 8 in his career against the Atlanta left-hander. And he misses a curveball by 1.5 feet, 0-1. 2 out, a runner at second. Wilkins out of our part of the world, Jacksonville, Florida. Fastball, knees, outside corner. Wilkins' big year was back in 1993. Hit 30 home runs for the Cubs. The only year he's been in double figures in home runs in Major League Baseball.
I'm a little surprised to not see Damon Berryhill in here.
That didn't miss by much. Low fastball, 1-2. I see your point. Rich Aurelia is on deck. He would pinch hit next.
But you're carrying 3 catchers, and you have a switch hitter in Berryhill. That's a big run out there.
And it's still out there, and the inning is over, and Glavine, boy, he is tough. 4 strikeouts for Tommy, 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 9th inning with your score. Giants and Braves tied at 3.
Sunday night on the Superstation.
Changing much out there, but changing at the ballpark. Doug Henry is on to pitch. Keith Lockhart is out swinging a bat. He's going to pinch hit for Tom Glavine. Glavine pitched brilliantly again. 112 pitches, 71 strikes, 41 balls, 8 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a wild pitch, and a homer. Henry, a right-hander, stands in there. Wohlers and Embry in the Atlanta bullpen. Henry out of Sacramento, California. He's been around a while. And he deals low. 1 ball, no strikes. Last year with the Mets, 2 and 8. 9 saves, a 4.68 earned run average. Had a better year the prior season, but appeared in 58 games for him. He's been with Milwaukee as well. There's a strike on the corner, 1-1.
He was the Milwaukee closer for a little while.
He had 29 saves back in '92. Swung, hit hard, left field, base hit. There's the strike. Blauser steers a single into left. Now let's see. Lockhart is called back here. And now Glavine will come out and hit. I don't know if he's going to pitch anymore in the game, but he's one of the best bunters in all of baseball. So we'll see how Bobby Cox chooses to play it. He is not, just because Lockhart was on deck does not mean that you have to take Glavine out of the game.
No, it has to be announced. The umpire has to signal to the press box for the PA announcer to announce it. That's a good move. If you had a runner at second or at third, then you would see Lockhart go ahead and hit. But Glavine is in there, and he can do this as well as anybody in the National League normally.
He bunts, foul. Right behind the plate, 0-1. Wohlers throwing, Embry throwing. If the Braves score, you'll see Wohlers. If they don't, you see Embry in all likelihood. Unless Glavine pitches on this cool day in San Francisco. It's only about 63 or 64 degrees, bright sunshine. Wind blowing hard toward right. Throw to first. Jeff is back easily. Glavine has struck out twice, walked once, scored a run.
Henry's always pitched well against the Braves. This is the 9th time they've seen him. He hasn't allowed him a run yet.
Well, it's about time. Law of averages are on our side. Pitch out, nothing happening, 1-1. They're getting started in Pittsburgh. The Phillies and Pirates about to tee it up. Three. Braves have the leadoff man on. We are in the 9th. Throw to first. Blauser back easily. It is now Glavine, Lofton, and Lemke, the next 3 scheduled hitters for Atlanta. But Goodwin. Henry's only played a first. He put some zip on that. Glavine does his job. 1-4 sacrifice. Now a base hit means a run. Kenny Lofton is the batter.
Perfect bunt. Pushes it over toward the third base line. Deadens it nicely. Henry doesn't even look to second. There's why you leave him in there. And there's the response you get on this ball club when you do a little thing like that. And that's another, this Braves team, better than any team since I came here in 1989, does more things to manufacture runs.
They're going to put Lofton on. Pretty good compliment to Kenny. Intentional pass for Henry. And 2 are on with 1 out for Lemke and Chipper Jones. There is no activity in the bullpen at this moment for the Giants. There are 2 ways to play this right now for the Giants, and I'm not second guessing. I don't know what the right answer is. You can go with your closer in the top of the 9th and hope that he does his job and that your team pushes a run across in the bottom half, or you can do it Dusty Baker's way. But you run the risk then of wasting your closer altogether.
But this bullpen has pitched so well.
No, I'm not second guessing it.
No,
Just pointing out that
they just feel confident with the job they've done early to go ahead and wait until they get the lead.
well, if they get it now, it's not going to matter because he won't be involved. Lemke 3 for 3 with a walk. He has driven in a run. They play him around toward left. Henry delivers. A little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Chipper Jones on deck. 3-9-0 for the Giants. 3-8-1 for the Braves. There's a strike. Good live fastball on the outside corner.
And again, the Giants defense tipping you as to what they're going to try to do to Mark Lemke. Everybody shaded toward left field.
Anything into right center, he can run for a while, or down the right field line.
Henry's trying to keep it down in the strike zone. He wants the ground ball. He wants Lemke to try to pull the outside pitch.
Lemmer out of the batter's box. The 3 hits today has raised his average to 268. On the corner. Mark didn't think so. He's in the hole. A ball and 2 strikes.
Good movement, good velocity, and good location. Tailing fastball in the neighborhood of the outside corner.
Jim Poole again up in their pen. Embry and Wolders for Atlanta. 1-2 pitch. Double play ball. 6, 4, 3. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Still tied 3-3. Understand why he didn't pinch hit for Wilkins either, but he didn't, so he pinch hits here to lead off the bottom of the 9th. Jensen out of Oakland. Went to Skyline High School there. Hit .264 at Phoenix last year with 5 homers, 53 RBIs. He was a 3rd-round draft choice in 1990.
Giants may be the only ball club I've ever seen with a pair of switch-hitting catchers.
Embry deal is a little bit inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom of the 9th is underway. Colorado beat Florida 7-3. Gary Sheffield hit his 3rd. Andres Galarraga back in there, his 4th. Jamie Wright the winner. Kevin Brown the loser. Bruce Ruffin his 3rd save.
I bet they had a sellout.
50,017, right you are, Sherlock. 2 balls, no strikes. So Glavine is off the hook too. Like Reeder, he cannot win it, cannot lose it. Three balls, no strikes. A walk puts the winning run on base. Jensen out of the batter's box. You'd figure him to be taking here. Almost to the backstop. So the winning run is on. Potential winning run, I should say. Not a good start. And here's J.T. Snow. And we'll get a pinch runner here for Jensen. Dante Powell, an outfielder, comes on to run for the young catcher who did his job.
Dante Powell, one of their young stars of the future. He has good speed.
Snow stands in there. You would figure a bunt, wouldn't you? Yes, you would.
That would do a couple of things. One, it's the logical play, the safe play, but it would also cause that strike zone to jump around a little bit for Embry, who's had trouble already locating it. But
hard back to the mound. Embry's only play will be the first. In time, so Snow does his job. Another 1-4 sacrifice. We've had a bunch of those in this game. And Bill Miller is the batter. He sacrificed his first time.
Probably will put him on, try to get the double play off the bat of Vizcaino.
And keep an eye on Powell out at second base. If they don't pay attention to him, he's liable to be sliding into third, where a fly ball wins the game. If the Braves win today, they can go up 5 over the Marlins. They pitch to Miller. Strike at the letter is 0-1. Miller, as we mentioned, hit .330 for these guys last year.
You're right about Powell's speed. He stole 113 bases in 3 years in the minors.
Lemke tries to keep him close. He has a huge lead, though, at second base. Base hit right field. Andruw Jones has a cannon. Here comes Powell. Here's the throw. He is safe, and the game is over.
I would appeal at third. I'm not sure he hit the bag, but I don't know if they're going to do it.
Andruw made a strong throw, but up the line just enough to let Powell slide in with the winning run. And the Giants have kept the Braves lead at 4 games in the East. Before we go to commercial, let's look at it again, Doc.
Give some credit to Miller. He hit a good pitch out and away, didn't try to pull it, found the hole, and that speed really came into play. Take a close look at the bag, see if he catches that. He really looked like he missed it. It's going to be close at the plate, but the ball takes that one little skip up the line. Javi Lopez unable to put the tag on Powell. Take a look, see if he hits the bag. No, sir. Not from that angle, he didn't. Close, but the Giants win it. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll give you our player of the game and the total. The Giants win it 4-3.
Home Depot is very serious about paint. We want to be your paint store.
We have drop cloths and sponges and brushes, and we can custom fit anything. I mean, you could bring in your shirt and we
enables him to get around the tag of Javi Lopez to score the 4th run, the winning run. Some clutch hitting for Miller. He is our AutoZone player of the game for his game-winning RBI in the 9th inning. Here are the rest of the numbers. The Giants 4 runs, 10 hits, errorless ball with 7 stranded. The Braves 3 runs, 8 hits. They had 1 error. They stranded 8. Henry runs his record to 2-0. He hasn't allowed a run for the Giants. Embry takes the loss. The leadoff walk to Jensen killed him. Homers by Bonds and Klesko. And the Giants win it 4-3. 17,050. Skip.
Okay, Don, thanks. The Braves' next